Hi everyone and welcome back. Mindy here with you today, and I'm going to be creating a card using a stamp set out of the Gina K Designs February 2019 release. This is the stamp set I'm going to use today. It's called Wonderful World and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous set. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm taking a piece of Neenah Solar White cardstock. This is 80 pound. And I'm just prepping that with an anti-static powder tool and brushing that powder across the cardstock so that my embossing powder only sticks where I want it to. Then I had already gone ahead and loaded my stamp in the Misty tool, inked that up with an embossing ink, and then just pushed down real firmly to get a very clean impression. Then I'm going to take some black embossing powder. This is from Gina K Designs, and I'm going to sprinkle that all over my image. This is the large floral image, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. And there's so many things you can do with it. You can color with it, whether it's your Copic markers or your zigs. I decided I'm going to do my easy watercolor method, and that is going to be using my shimmer powder. So here I'm just heat setting that embossing powder real quick so it's nice and shiny. I'm going to give that a second to cool off, and then I'm just going to wipe that down with a Swiffer cloth. That's just removing any excess powder that might be on there. And then I'm spritzing it with some water, and I'm taking Violet Brocade shimmer powder and I'm sprinkling that all over, and then adding a few more spritzes of water. Now with the embossing, it is going to pool in those areas because the embossing powder kind of creates a barrier. And that's what I wanted. What's going to happen is it's going to make some areas lighter and some darker. If you dab this up with a paper towel, you'll see in just a second, it'll remove all of that color. And I don't want all the color gone, but I did want to pick up some of the pools a little bit. So I kind of let that excess water drip onto a spare paper towel. And you can see I'm just tapping the back of my cardstock to get those puddles to move just a little bit more, and it's leaving all of these gorgeous colors inside of those flowers. So this is just a real quick way to give this beautiful image some color. And then I took a paper towel and I just kind of twirled it up into a little point and sucked up some of that water. I didn't want to press down because I didn't want to remove that color since this is such a vibrant color. I'm going to set that off on the side to dry, and now I'm going to stamp my stand for my globe. So again, using some white cardstock and prepping that with an anti-static powder tool. This time I'm going to use the new Gina K Designs Champagne Embossing Powder. I am constantly reaching for this color. I just love it. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just such a gorgeous color. I've played with a few different colors Gina has, and this one just, it's my absolute go-to. So I'm going to have to buy a couple jars of this because I'm constantly using it. So I'm just sprinkling that champagne embossing powder over my inked up image that I used the clear embossing ink for. And then I'm going to go ahead and heat set that with my heat tool until it's nice and shiny. And then I can take the coordinating die and line that up with my image that I stamped there. And I'm holding it down with purple tape because I heat embossed it. When I heat emboss, it kind of warps the paper just a little bit. So using the purple tape makes sure that that die is not going anywhere. And there is my wonderfully cut image. Now I am a little off, but that's operator error because I was trying to line it up while looking through the camera, and that didn't work as well. But it works for me. I'm happy with it. Next, I'm going to work on my background. So this is the water droplet stencil from Gina K Designs, and I'm just holding that down with some purple tape. This is the Soft Stone cardstock. This is new, and it's a beautiful light gray color. There's also another color that is being released, and that one is Stormy Sky, which is darker. So first I'm actually taking the Soft Stone ink and I'm using a life-changing brush blending tool to get a soft impression. Now you can see in one area there was pretty dark. I kind of went into that full force. I wasn't anticipating how dark that was going to be on the stencil. So you could see afterwards I'm kind of brushing my brush off on the side of my craft mat to take it away a little bit so it's not so harsh. but I did go back over it a few times and kind of blend it in with the rest of the background and the rest of the color that I'm applying. But it is kind of a tone on tone, which I'm a big fan of tone on tone colors, and it looks amazing for a background. And it was still a little dark in that area, but I just figured if I flip the card, I'm going to cover that up with my globe. So all worked out. And then I can just wipe up my mat, and I wanted to show you here, I'm taking my tidy towel and I'm just rubbing off the ink from that blending tool. And look at that. It's all gone. I loved that. That was great. Easy cleanup. I just had to share that. So now I'm just going to take my Gina K tape runner and I'm attaching my ink blended panel onto that piece of Stormy Sky cardstock, and my base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I trimmed down my stencil panel to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to take my globe stand and just attach that right to the card with some Gina K Connect glue, holding that in place with my tweezers and just giving that a good push down. And before I do anything, I was still waiting for my cardstock to dry from the shimmer powder, so I'm going to do my sentiment. And I'm just taking a piece of black cardstock and prepping that with the anti-static powder tool, inking this sentiment up. And this is actually from You Make Me Smile, I believe the stamp set is called. I'll have it linked down below in my video description. But I wanted a nice skinny strip for a sentiment that kind of went along with the card. And this is the one I picked out that I thought was really cute. You Make Me Smile. I thought that was just a great encouragement sentiment to add to the card. And then I heat embossed that with the champagne embossing powder again. So now I'm just going to take my Tim Holtz trimmer and I'm just going to cut this as close to the words as I can to make it a nice skinny strip. I wanted to be able to see the entire floral image as much as I could. So just trimming those edges off a little bit. Now here is my flower, all die cut. There's a coordinating die for this too. And I'm just loving all those colors, and that was so easy to do with those shimmer powders. You can definitely do coloring, like I said, with the Copics, but I just thought that was really easy and gave such a variety of color. And I wanted to pop this up on my card, so I did attach some Gina K white foam squares to the back of it. And I love that little bit of dimension the foam squares give. Then I took my sentiment and I'm just adding a foam square right to the very end so it lines up evenly. And I can just put some regular glue on the other side that'll attach on top of the flower. So remove that backing and just line that up so you can still see a good portion of my flower and all the beautiful colors that are on there. And then just to finish up, I'm adding a few sugar plum jewels to the card, and I'm using my jewel picker and the Gina K Connect glue, which is perfect for adding jewels because it has such a nice fine tip on it. And that is going to finish up my card for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, I would really appreciate a big thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so and would like to see more videos from me. Thanks again for stopping by, and I'll catch you next time.